This felt like the correct next step. I think part of it was very organic, based out of the work that I was already doing to support clients through these types of events. And it felt very natural to continue to focus that work with and for women. Women face unique challenges when it comes to their financial lives. And I think it's remiss of planners and other financial professionals to ignore that component. It's hard enough to make financial decisions in the best of times. And when there's a lot of change and uncertainty and fear, it's all but impossible. I really wanted to speak to those circumstances and the unique challenges that women face. There are three things that come to mind for me when I'm working with and supporting women: longevity, caregiving, and the wage gap. The longevity piece is very much backed up by science. On average, women live 6 years longer than men, and that is really important for financial professionals to recognize. I think it requires good planning around that additional life expectancy, particularly when we start thinking about how that affects healthcare costs for women. The second component is caregiving. It wasn't necessarily a surprise to me to learn that 2/3 of caregiver responsibilities fall to women. But what I was surprised about are the number of women who are experiencing caregiving in what is known as the sandwich generation, where you still have dependent children at home, but you're also needing to figure out care for an aging parent or aging family member. And we think about what that means from a financial standpoint, with having to make decisions around funding that care, or if women are actually taking steps back from work, reducing their hours, or hitting the pause button on work altogether. And that has some pretty immediate effects, certainly, with their income, but there are ripple effects that come along with that. So lifetime earnings are impacted, savings capacity is impacted. It even impacts things like Social Security benefits, which are tied to earned income. So what can seem like a really siloed decision that there's no right or wrong answer to necessarily in terms of what the family dynamic requires, I do think that there's value in looking at these choices through the financial lens to have a complete picture of what this really means, not only in the short term, but also in the long term. Millennials between the ages of 27 and 42 are taking on more of these caregiver responsibilities, particularly for their parents. So these conversations are crucial to have both within the family and with a financial professional to help gauge the why behind what some of these choices could mean. I would love nothing more than for the women I work with to have that feeling of financial confidence.